All right, so we're diving into Think and Grow Rich, and this is a big one.
It is, yeah.
So many people have recommended this book to us, and I think what they're really looking for is like the core message of the book without necessarily having to read, every single page.
Yeah.
And so we're going to distill it down to that. We're going to find the essence of Think and Grow Rich, and there's some really fascinating stuff in here.
Yeah. There's this thing he calls the Carnegie secret that is, I think, really at the core of it all.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's start with that. What is the Carnegie secret? How does this all begin?
Well, the book itself is fascinating because it actually starts with Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate.
Okay.
And his idea was that the formula he used to achieve success was something that anybody should be able to access.
Okay.
So he shared it with Napoleon Hill, and then Napoleon Hill went and tested it with like thousands of people over a period of like decades, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And really refined it and tested it and came up with what's in the book.
That's so interesting. It's like, it's not just theory. He actually tested this
Yeah.
in the real world with real people.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He believed it should be taught in schools, actually.
Oh, wow. Imagine if everyone learned this stuff, when they were young, how different things might be.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm intrigued. What is this secret? What is this formula?
Well, it all starts with burning desire.
Okay.
Fair.
So more than just like wanting something.
Yeah, it's about really having a deep passion, a relentless drive to actually achieve it.
Okay.
And to illustrate this, one of the stories he tells in the book is about Edwin Barnes.
Okay.
And Edwin Barnes was he really desperately wanted to work with Thomas Edison.
Okay.
But not just admire him, like he wanted to be his business partner.
Wow.
So he showed up at Edison's lab like with no money, no connections, and he eventually got to meet him.
That takes guts just to like show up.
It does. And he had a definite desire.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, I wish I could work with Edison. He had a definite desire.
Right,
He
yeah.
knew exactly what he wanted.
Okay, so that's key. This idea of like having a definite thing in mind.
Yeah.
Not just a vague desire.
Exactly. Yeah. And he meticulously planned how he was going to, approach Edison
Okay.
and get in and be able to talk to him.
I see. So you got a plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does burning bridges play into this then?
Well, so burning bridges is the idea that you got to fully commit to your goal. And he illustrates this with this great example.
Okay.
Marshall Field. So Marshall Field had his store in Chicago, and then the Great Chicago Fire happened.
Oh, yeah.
And his store was destroyed.
Okay.
And so he rebuilt it on the same spot, right?
Wow.
And basically vowed that it would become the greatest store in the world.
That's amazing. What a comeback story, right? Like taking that setback and being like, nope, I'm gonna double down.
Yeah, that's burning bridges.
I see. Okay. So you're like, I am 100% committed to this and there's no going back.
Exactly.
Okay. So you got this burning desire, you're committed, but you mentioned earlier that that's not enough, right?
Yeah. Just having the knowledge isn't power. It's about organizing that knowledge.
Oh, okay.
And directing it towards a specific goal.
Got it.
Yeah.
So like you might know a ton of stuff,
Yeah.
but if you're not actually doing anything with it, it's not going to help you.
Exactly. And there's this great story he tells about Henry Ford. Henry Ford wanted to build a V8 engine, and everyone told him, it's impossible, you can't do that. Can't be done. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And he basically tasked his engineers to find a way to build it.
That's incredible. And they actually did it, right? Like they figured it out.
They did, yeah.
That's amazing. That shows that, like, even when everybody says it's impossible,
Yeah.
if you have that desire, that burning desire in the plan, you can actually make it happen.
And that's where specialized knowledge comes in.
Okay.
So, you might have a lot of general knowledge, but you need to have the specialized knowledge to achieve your goal.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
Like, somebody's trying to get into like brain surgery probably shouldn't be spending all their time learning about, I don't know, basket weaving.
Right.
If they want to be a brain surgeon.
You got to focus. Okay, that makes sense. So is that, like, was that common back then? Like, could people go and get that knowledge, that specific knowledge?
Well, he gives a really inspiring example. This guy, Stuart Austin Weir, he was in sales.
Okay.
And then in his 40s, he was like, I want to be a lawyer.
Okay.
So he went to night school.
Wow.
And got his law degree, and then he became a lawyer.
So it's never too late?
No, it's never too late.
That's amazing. I love that. So you've got the desire.
Yeah.
You've got the plan. you've got the knowledge. What's next?
Well, then you got to use your imagination.
Okay, now we're getting into the fun stuff.
Yeah, and so imagination, he says there's two forms of it. There's synthetic and there's creative.
Okay.
So synthetic imagination is kind of like rearranging existing pieces of a puzzle,
Okay.
Like you're combining familiar ideas and knowledge in new ways.
So that's innovation.
Yeah, you could call it innovation.
Okay.
But then creative imagination is like coming up with entirely new pieces for that puzzle.
Oh, okay.
So that's more like pure invention.
Okay, so both are important.
Yeah, and both are crucial for coming up with plans that can actually make your desires into reality.
So the more we use our imagination, the stronger it becomes.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes sense. It's like a muscle, right? You gotta exercise it.
Yeah.
Okay, so all this is building up to something. There's gotta be like this big secret in here somewhere.
Well, yeah, so that he introduces this concept that really blew my mind when I first read it. The mastermind.
Ooh, the mastermind. Okay, what is that?
So no one achieves great wealth or success entirely on their own.
Okay, so this is about collaboration, teamwork.
Yeah. But think of it like this.
Okay.
Individual batteries have power.
Yeah.
Right. But you connect them together.
Uh-huh.
And they generate way more energy.
Oh, I see.
That's the mastermind principle. It's like this mastermind alliance where two or more minds work in perfect harmony towards a common goal.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And actually, Henry Ford is a great example of this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because he had all those brilliant people that he collaborated with, like
Yeah.
Thomas Edison and Harvey Firestone.
Yeah, he had this whole mastermind group that was like just incredible.
So synergy, it's more than just like 1 + 1. It's like it creates something way bigger.
Yeah. And then he goes even a step further. He introduces this concept of the sixth sense.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Like a supernatural power. Tell me more.
Well, not quite supernatural, but pretty close.
Okay.
He says it's actually the creative faculty of imagination, but like a level of imagination that most people don't really tap into.
Oh, so like untapped potential.
Yeah, and he gives this this fascinating example, Dr. Elmer R. Gates. So this guy, he actually made a living by like sitting for ideas. People would come to him with a problem.
Oh, wow.
And he would use his imagination and like he'd just sit there and think about it and come up with a solution.
That's incredible.
And then people would pay him for the solution.
Oh, wow. So he was like a professional idea generator.
Yeah, and he had this incredibly developed sixth sense.
Okay, so this is getting really interesting. So if we can tap into this sixth sense, we can basically access this like whole other level of problem solving and creativity. Okay, but wait a minute. What about we got to talk about the elephant in the room, sex.
Yeah.
Napoleon Hill talks about sex transmutation, and that sounds a little scandalous.
Well, it's not quite what you think.
Yeah.
He's not suggesting we suppress sexual desire.
Okay.
He's actually saying like redirect that energy
Oh, okay.
towards creative endeavors.
So like channel it into something productive?
Yeah, like think about it.
Yeah.
A lot of the greatest achievers throughout history, they were known to have very strong libidos.
Right.
And so it's about like learning how to harness that energy.
Okay.
And focus it
Okay.
on your work, on your art.
So it's like it's powerful energy, but
Ah.
it needs to be directed.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. And he talks about balancing that with love and romance.
Yeah.
Right.
And he believes that like when you blend those emotions
Okay.
with sex energy, it can really elevate you
Okay.
to it like a whole other level.
Okay. So it's about harnessing those primal emotions and turning them into like something positive.
Yeah.
Okay. That's powerful.
But he does warn that, those who have like a strong sex drive, but they don't transmute it, often they end up like using that energy destructively.
Oh, I see. Okay. So it can go either way.
It can, yeah.
Okay. So we've got the burning desire, the definite plans, the mastermind, the sixth sense, this sex transmutation. Are there any like roadblocks? Are there any like things we need to be aware of on this path to success?
Well, he says that there's a big one, and it's fear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to deal with fear at some point.
Exactly. And he breaks down like 6 basic fears.
Okay. Which are?
So there's the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health,
Okay.
the fear of loss of love of someone, the fear of old age, and the fear of death.
Wow. Okay. Those are some big ones.
They are.
No wonder they can hold people back.
Yeah. And he argues that indecision is like the breeding ground for all those fears.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. When we hesitate, when we doubt, we create a space for fear to take root.
So you're saying, like, the key is to just decide.
Yeah.
Make a choice and move forward.
Yeah, make a choice.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, he digs a little deeper into some of these, right? Like, the fear of poverty.
He does, yeah.
What does he say about that?
So he connects that to man's inherent avarice.
Okay.
Like greed, and how that fear of poverty often manifests as a desire to exploit other people financially.
Oh, I see. So it can actually, like, that fear can lead to some pretty bad behavior.
It can, yeah.
Okay.
And then he also talks about the fear of criticism and how that can be so crippling.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like it prevents people from taking risks
Ah.
and pursuing their dreams because they're worried about what other people are going to think.
Oh, that's so true. It's easy to get caught up in that.
It is, yeah.
Okay. What about, like, the fear of ill health? Because that's a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah. And he talks about how negative thoughts and anxieties can actually manifest as physical symptoms.
Oh, wow. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
Kind of, yeah.
If you're constantly worried about getting sick, you might actually make yourself sick.
Yeah, and he gives some pretty thought-provoking examples of this in the book.
Okay, so this, I mean, this all feels very relevant today.
It does, yeah.
Especially in a world where we're, like, bombarded with information and anxieties.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do we combat these fears? How do we not let them, like, take over our lives?
Well, his solution is actually quite simple. Decide.
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 Okay.
Decide to overcome your fears
Okay.
by just refusing to let them control you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's about making that choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that look like in like practical terms? How do we actually do that?
Well, he encourages readers to make like a blanket decision that nothing in life is worth the price of worry. And he believes that when you make that decision, it brings poise, peace of mind, and a calmness of thought that leads to happiness.
Okay, so it's about shifting our focus,
Yeah.
right? From dwelling on what we fear
Yeah.
to actually taking action towards what we want.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think, he tells a really powerful story
Yeah.
about a man who is awaiting execution.
Yeah.
And this man is remarkably calm
Yeah.
and composed, even though he's, about to face death.
Yeah.
And it's his decision, it's his acceptance of what's about to happen that brings him peace.
Yeah. And he basically says that this same principle can be applied to overcoming our everyday fears.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
By making that conscious decision to face them head on, we can actually neutralize their power over us.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so does he give any, like, specific strategies for tackling these fears?
He does, yeah. He basically says for each of the 6 basic fears, decide. For instance, with the fear of poverty, decide to be content with whatever wealth you can accumulate without worry.
Oh, okay. So shift from, like, a scarcity mindset to a mindset of abundance.
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then, for fear of criticism, decide to stop worrying about what other people think.
That's a tough one.
It is, yeah. And then, for fear of old age, like, decide to embrace it. Decide to see it as a time of wisdom and understanding.
Okay. So it's about reframing our perspectives on these things.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then, for fear of ill health, decide to focus on health and well-being rather than dwelling on symptoms.
Okay. And he even says that sometimes a deliberate hoax can be a powerful antidote to fear.
Yeah.
What does he mean by that?
So he tells this story about a young man who is hospitalized due to a broken heart.
Oh, wow.
And so this specialist, he gets an attractive nurse to, like, basically make this guy fall in love with her again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's like this remedy. The patient recovers, and then he even ends up marrying the nurse.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great story.
It sounds like something out of a movie.
It does. But it illustrates the point that, like, sometimes we just need to shift our mental focus away from fear and towards something positive.
Right. And that can actually create real healing. Okay, so his approach to fear is all about taking back control. It's using courage over fear.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, are there any other, like, tendencies that we need to be aware of, like things that might hold us back that aren't necessarily feared, but maybe related?
He does talk about laziness.
Okay.
Indifference. And just kind of like negative suggestions that we can pick up from other people.
Right.
So, just be aware of those tendencies. Try to cultivate habits that counteract that.
So it's like being proactive
Yeah.
about shaping our mindset and behaviors.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some like good habits that we can cultivate?
Surround yourself with positive influences.
Oh, okay. So like if you're hanging out with people who are constantly negative,
Yeah.
it's going to rub off on you.
Yeah, it's going to drain your energy.
Okay.
And then, do some self-analysis
Okay.
regularly, like assess your strengths, your weaknesses, and kind of track your progress towards your goals.
So it's like taking inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And he actually has a bunch of like thought-provoking questions in the book that he encourages readers to ask themselves.
Okay. Like what? Give me an example.
Well, he asks, what is my greatest worry and why do I tolerate it?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Or, do I face challenging circumstances directly or do I avoid responsibility?
Those are tough questions, but good questions to ask. Okay, so a lot of this comes back to the power of the mind.
It does, yeah.
Right. And Hill famously states that you either control your mind or it controls you.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
There's no middle ground, no.
Okay, so how do we control our minds?
Well, he uses Henry Ford as an example.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember, he started with very limited education, very limited resources.
Right.
But he refused to accept the limitations that other people placed on him.
Yeah, he had that burning desire.
He did.
He had the vision, and he just kept going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was incredibly successful because of it. And Hill points out that his success wasn't due to, like, luck or privilege. It was due to his ability to control his mind.
Okay, and that sounds kind of intimidating, this mind control.
Yeah. But it's not about like, some kind of like weird, Jedi mind trick. It's about, self-discipline.
Okay.
And habit.
Got it. So what are some like specific things that we can do to kind of get a handle on our thoughts?
Well, he suggests keeping the mind occupied with a definite purpose, backed by a definite plan.
Okay, so you got to have a direction.
Yeah.
You got to have that roadmap for your thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's this principle of autosuggestion,
Yeah.
which we talked about a little bit earlier.
We did, yeah.
So remind me, what is that again?
So autosuggestion is the process of repeatedly suggesting ideas
Okay.
and beliefs to your subconscious mind until they become ingrained as habits.
So it's like reprogramming our subconscious.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And he believed that the subconscious mind, it doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined.
Oh, that's pretty trippy.
It is.
So you're saying that if we're constantly telling ourselves positive things, even if we don't necessarily believe them at first, eventually our subconscious mind is going to start to accept that as truth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's powerful.
Yeah. And he suggests using affirmations,
Okay.
visualizations, and even like scripting techniques
Okay.
to kind of implant these positive suggestions.
So it's like creating a self-fulfilling prophecy, but in a positive way.
Exactly.
Okay. I like that. So how important is repetition in this process?
Oh, he's a big believer in repetition.
Okay.
And emotional intensity. He says that the subconscious mind is most receptive to suggestions when they are charged with emotion.
So it's not enough to just like read an affirmation. You have to actually feel it.
You got to feel it. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're saying like if you really want to attract wealth, you can't just like say I am wealthy over and over again.
Yeah.
You have to actually imagine yourself living that life.
Yeah.
Feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of abundance.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I like that. Now what about negative thought patterns?
Yeah.
We all have them.
We do, yeah.
How do we overcome those?
So he encourages us to become aware of our negative self-talk. Like, notice when you're putting yourself down.
Okay.
Challenge those beliefs.
Right.
And then consciously replace them with positive affirmations.
So it's about catching yourself when you're spiraling.
Yeah.
And making a conscious effort to shift your focus.
Exactly.
Okay.
And surround yourself with positive influences.
Right. We talked about that.
Yeah.
So important to be mindful of your environment.
Yeah. He believes that, like, surrounding yourself with positive people, inspiring books, uplifting experiences, that can really have a profound impact on your mindset.
It's like the more positivity you surround yourself with,
Yeah.
the more positive you become.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is all about mindset. It's about controlling our thoughts.
Yeah.
But Hill also talks about the subconscious mind in achieving physical and mental healing.
He does, yeah.
Okay, now this is interesting. So he's saying our subconscious mind plays a role in our health.
He believed it played a significant role.
Okay.
Yeah, and that negative thoughts and emotions could manifest as physical ailments.
Oh, so our thoughts and feelings can actually impact our physical health.
According to Hill, absolutely.
Boy, that's pretty profound.
Yeah.
So he's saying we can actually, like, think ourselves sick.
Yeah.
Or think ourselves well. Okay, and this is like we're hearing more and more about this mind-body connection these days.
Yeah.
He was really ahead of his time.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so what are some of the things that he suggested for, someone's like struggling with an illness? What can they do?
Well, he actually advocated for techniques like visualization
Okay.
and affirmations to promote healing.
Oh, okay. So someone who's, dealing with, let's say, cancer could use visualization techniques to imagine themselves healthy and vibrant.
Yeah.
Okay. And he believed that by doing that,
Okay.
they could actually tap into their body's innate healing power.
Okay. So he's not saying that this is like a replacement for medical treatment.
No.
But it's like a complement to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. So this is fascinating. It's like he's taking this idea of success and really looking at it from a holistic perspective.
Yeah, he does.
It's not just about the money.
It's about our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, our actions, our health. It's all connected.
He believed that to achieve our full potential, we need to have this deep understanding of ourselves, of our minds, and of our connection to something greater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He actually tells this great story about Dr. Frank Gonzalez,
Okay.
who was this preacher. And he had this dream of building a new college.
Okay.
But he needed $1 million.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
It was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
It was an impossible sum.
Yeah.
But Gonzalez, he didn't let that stop him.
Okay.
He held fast to his desire, visualized it,
Okay.
and just kept looking for ways to make it happen.
Okay. And he prepared a sermon
Yeah.
titled, "What I Would Do If I Had $1 Million."
Yeah.
And he delivered it with such conviction and passion that it moved this wealthy businessman in the congregation to give him the money.
To give him the $1 million.
That's amazing.
It is, yeah.
So he literally spoke it into existence. Expert.
It is a great story, yeah. And it just shows you the power of having a definite purpose, a clear vision, and the faith to see it through.
He didn't just like wish for $1 million.
Yeah.
He like planned for it, he prepared for it, and he acted as if it was already on its way.
Exactly.
It's like he aligned himself with that possibility and then drew it into his reality.
Yeah, and that's where faith comes in.
Yeah.
Hill really emphasizes the importance of faith.
Okay.
In achieving success, he says that faith is the crucial ingredient for transforming intangible desires into tangible realities.
So it's not just about like hoping for the best. It's about believing in the possibility and then taking action as if it's already a certainty.
Yeah, exactly. Faith is more than just like a passive belief.
Okay.
It's an active force that empowers us to overcome obstacles and achieve those goals that might seem impossible at first.
I love that it's like that saying, leap and the net will appear. Faith is that willingness to take that leap, trusting that the universe will provide the support we need to soar.
That's a perfect analogy, and Hill really emphasizes understanding and applying the law of attraction.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah. So like attracts things.
Right. It's the idea that our thoughts and beliefs act as magnets.
Yeah.
Drawing experiences and circumstances that align with our dominant mental state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we focus on lack limitations and fear, those are the things that we're going to attract into our lives.
But if we cultivate thoughts of abundance, prosperity, gratitude, those are the things that will gravitate towards us.
Yeah. And so he encourages readers to consciously align their thoughts and beliefs with their desires, to visualize their goals as if they've already been achieved and really feel those emotions associated with that success.
So it's like creating a mental blueprint, a roadmap that guides our subconscious mind towards those outcomes we want.
Exactly.
Okay, and what about things like vision boards or affirmations?
Yeah, he suggests things like that, like creating a vision board or writing affirmations that clearly articulate what you want.
Okay.
Those are great tools to keep your focus on what you want to manifest.
But he also stresses that action is essential.
He's not just saying, think positive and it'll all come to you.
Right.
You have to take action. Faith without works is dead.
Okay, so we need to transform those dreams into actionable goals.
Yes.
And then actually work towards them.
Develop definite plans, break your goals down into smaller steps
Okay.
and take action every single day.
So this brings us back to that idea of having a definite plan.
It does.
It's not just about dreaming big, it's about having that roadmap for how to get there.
Yeah, exactly. His philosophy is really this blend of mindset, strategy, and action.
It's about understanding the principles that govern success, aligning ourselves with what we want,
Yes.
and then taking action to make those things happen.
And realizing that we're not just passive bystanders in the game of life. We are active creators. We have the ability to shape our own destiny.
It's about believing in our power to achieve anything we set our minds to overcome challenges.
Yeah.
And to create a life of meaning, purpose, and abundance.
He really provides such specific strategies and techniques.
Like, well, give me an example.
Well, one of those fascinating things he introduces is this idea of autosuggestion.
Wait, didn't we talk about that already?
We did touch upon it in the context of faith,
Okay.
but it deserves a little deeper dive.
Okay.
Autosuggestion is essentially the process of repeatedly suggesting ideas and beliefs to your subconscious mind until they become ingrained like habits.
So it's like reprogramming our subconscious mind with these positive and empowering beliefs.
Exactly. And he believed that the subconscious mind, it doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
So if we continuously feed our subconscious mind with these positive affirmations, even if we don't fully believe them at first,
Right.
eventually it will start to accept them as truth.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's like creating a self-fulfilling prophecy, but in a positive way.
Yeah. And
I like that. Now, how important is repetition in this?
Oh, he was a big believer in repetition.
Okay.
And emotional intensity when it came to autosuggestion.
So the more we repeat these affirmations with feeling and conviction, the more likely they are to take root.
He says the subconscious mind is most receptive to suggestions when they're charged with emotion.
So it's not enough to just read an affirmation.
Right.
You have to really feel it.
You have to embody the emotion that's associated with it.
Okay, so like if you really want to attract wealth, you can't just say, I am wealthy over and over again.
Right. You have to actually imagine yourself living that life.
Okay.
Feel the joy, feel the gratitude, feel the abundance.
It's about creating a vivid picture in your mind
Yeah.
and then stepping into that picture with all of your senses.
Exactly.
Okay, now what about those negative thought patterns that we all have?
Well, he encourages us to become aware of them, to challenge them, and to consciously replace them with positive ones.
Okay, so it's about catching ourselves when we're spiraling into negativity.
Yeah.
And making a choice to focus on something more empowering.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then just really try to minimize the negativity that you're exposed to.
Right. So be mindful of your environment. Be mindful of the people you spend time with.
Yeah. Surround yourself with positive influences. Read inspiring books. Listen to uplifting music.
It's like creating this positive feedback loop.
Yeah, exactly.
The more positivity you surround yourself with, the more positive you become.
Yeah.
And then that just attracts more positivity into your life.
Exactly. And he didn't just stop there. He also explored the power of the subconscious mind when it came to healing, like physical and mental healing.
Okay.
He believed that the subconscious mind played a significant role in our health and well-being.
Really? So he's saying that negative thoughts and emotions could actually manifest as physical ailments. Wow, so it's like our thoughts and feelings can literally make us sick.
According to Hill.
Yeah. Okay.
And he argued that by changing our thoughts and beliefs, we could also influence our physical state.
Okay, so this is this mind-body connection that we hear so much about these days.
It is, yeah.
So he was really ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the things that he suggested for, if someone's struggling with an illness, what could they do?
Well, he advocated for visualization and affirmations to promote healing.
So if someone, let's say, is dealing with cancer,
Yeah.
they could use visualization techniques to imagine themselves healthy and vibrant.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And he believed that by focusing the mind on health and well-being, we could actually tap into the body's innate healing power.
So this is not a replacement for traditional medical treatment,
No.
but it's like a complement to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
His approach to success was very holistic.
It really is. He believed that to achieve our full potential, we need to understand ourselves, our minds, and our connection to something greater.
He was talking about aligning all aspects of ourselves.
Yeah.
Our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, and our actions with our goals and aspirations.
Exactly. And that's what makes his work so enduring. His insights into the power of the mind, the importance of positive thinking, the significance of a higher purpose. Those are all things that are just as relevant today as they were when he wrote the book.
It's a timeless guide to personal growth and fulfillment, and I'm curious to hear what else he has to offer as we continue this deep dive.
Well, there's one more key principle that we haven't really explored yet.
Okay.
And it's arguably the most important one, the power of giving.
The power of giving.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So Hill believed that true success isn't just about accumulating wealth or achieving personal goals.
Okay.
It's about making a positive impact on the world.
So it's about generosity. It's about contributing to something larger than ourselves.
Exactly. And he believed that the more we give, the more we receive.
So this is like that concept of karma.
Yeah.
What we put out into the world comes back to us.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
He believed that generosity was a key ingredient for attracting abundance into our lives.
Okay.
And he said that when we give freely of our time, our energy, our resources, we create a positive flow that ultimately comes back to benefit us.
So it's not about giving with the expectation of getting something back.
Right.
It's about understanding that generosity creates this cycle of abundance.
Exactly.
There you go.
And he encourages readers to adopt this mindset of abundance, to believe that there's enough for everyone, and to give generously without expecting anything in return.
That's a beautiful concept.
It is.
It shifts the focus from scarcity and competition to collaboration and shared prosperity.
Exactly. And, you know, he didn't just talk about financial giving. He talked about giving your time, your energy, your talents to helping others.
So it's about making a difference in the world, using our unique gifts and abilities.
Precisely. He believed that we all have something special to offer, and that by sharing those gifts, we not only enrich the lives of others, but we also experience a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose ourselves.
It's about tapping into that interconnectedness that we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
recognizing that we're all part of something bigger
Exactly.
and that our actions have a ripple effect.
He emphasized that giving shouldn't be seen as a sacrifice. It should be an act of joy
Oh, wow.
and gratitude.
Okay.
And he believed that when we give with a pure heart, without expectation of reward, we unlock a powerful force
Okay.
that attracts abundance and blessings into our lives.
It's like we're tapping into this universal law of reciprocity.
Yeah.
The more we give, the more we receive.
Exactly. And he gave specific examples of this.
Like what?
Like simple acts of kindness.
Okay.
Like offering a helping hand to someone in need, volunteering our time for a cause we believe in, or simply expressing gratitude to those who have made a difference in our lives.
Those are all things that anyone can do,
Exactly.
regardless of their financial situation or social status.
He believed that giving wasn't just for the wealthy. It was a principle that anyone could embrace
Okay.
to enrich their lives and the lives of others.
It's about shifting our focus from what we lack
Yeah,
to what we can contribute.
exactly. And he encouraged readers to make giving a habit,
Okay.
to integrate it into their daily routines.
Uh-huh.
And he believed that the more we practice giving, the more natural it would become and the greater the positive impact we would have.
I love how he ties all of this together.
He does.
From burning desire and definite plans to the power of the mind and the importance of giving.
It's a very holistic approach to success.
It really is.
It encompasses not just material wealth,
Right.
but also spiritual growth,
Yeah.
meaningful relationships, and a sense of purpose.
It's not just about climbing that ladder of success. It's about creating a life that's truly fulfilling and meaningful.
And he believed that anyone could achieve this kind of success,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of their background or their circumstances.
Okay.
It was about embracing these principles, taking action, and never giving up on your dreams.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. Think and Grow Rich really lives up to its reputation as a timeless classic.
It does. And, you know, we've really just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
There's so much more to unpack and explore.
But I think we've covered some of the most important takeaways.
We have.
From the power of burning desire and definite plans to the importance of harnessing our thoughts, our emotions, and our beliefs.
Yeah.
Hill really does provide a comprehensive roadmap for achieving success in all areas of life.
It all comes back to that central message.
Yeah.
We have the power to create our own reality.
It's not about luck or circumstance.
No.
It's about making conscious choices, taking aligned action, and believing in our ability to achieve our dreams.
Exactly. Think and Grow Rich is a testament to that boundless potential that lies within each of us. It's an invitation to tap into that potential and to create a life that's truly extraordinary.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you hope our listener takes away from this exploration of Think and Grow Rich?
I hope they take away the belief that anything is possible,
Okay.
that they have the power within themselves to achieve their wildest dreams.
That's a beautiful message.
And it's a message that really resonates with Hill's philosophy. He believed that we're all capable of greatness, that we all have a unique contribution to make to the world.
Think and Grow Rich is a call to action, an invitation to step into our power and create a life that's not just successful, but also meaningful and fulfilling.
And that journey begins with a single step, the decision to believe in ourselves and in our ability to create the life we desire.
That's a powerful reminder, and it's the perfect note to end our deep dive on. Thanks for joining me on this journey. It's been an absolute pleasure exploring the wisdom of Think and Grow Rich with you.
The pleasure was all mine. And to our listener, I'd say this: the journey to success starts now. Embrace the principles we've discussed, take action, and never give up on your dreams. The world is waiting to witness the unfolding of your greatness. He really did, yeah. It's amazing how he tied everything together. It's not just about, accumulating wealth or achieving personal goals, but aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions with a higher purpose.
It's about recognizing that we're not isolated individuals, striving for personal gain, but that we're interconnected.
Yeah.
And that we have the potential to make a positive impact on the world.
Exactly. And that actually leads us to the final principle that we're going to explore: the power of giving.
Okay, the power of giving. I like that. So tell me about that. Where does this fit in with everything else?
Well, this is where Hill's philosophy goes beyond, traditional notions of success. He argued that true success isn't just about what we acquire, but about what we contribute.
So it's not just about reaching the top of the mountain, but about, extending a hand to help others along the way.
Precisely. He believed that the more we give, the more we receive. It's this principle of reciprocity.
Okay.
Almost like a universal law that governs the flow of abundance.
This makes me think of, the concept of karma. What we put out into the world comes back to us.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Hill believed that generosity was one of the key ingredients for attracting abundance into our lives.
Okay.
So when we give freely of our time, our energy, and our resources, we actually create a positive ripple effect that ultimately benefits us as well.
So it's not about giving with the expectation of getting something back.
Right.
But it's about understanding that that generosity creates a cycle of abundance.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
And he encouraged readers to adopt a mindset of abundance, to believe that there's enough for everyone.
Okay.
And to give generously without expecting anything in return.
That's a beautiful concept. It's like shifting from this scarcity mindset where we're constantly competing for limited resources to an abundance mindset where we believe there's enough for everyone to thrive.
Exactly. And he also emphasizes that giving isn't limited to financial contributions.
Oh, okay.
It can be about sharing our time, our energy, our talents, our kindness with others.
So it could be something as simple as volunteering at a local charity or, offering a helping hand to a neighbor who's struggling.
Precisely.
Or even just expressing gratitude to the people who have made a difference in our lives.
Exactly. He believed that every act is giving, no matter how small, contributes to a more positive and abundant world.
I love that. And he suggested that people make giving a habit.
He did, yeah.
To integrate it into their daily routines?
Yeah, he believed that the more we practice giving, the more natural it would become, and the greater the positive impact we would have on ourselves and the world around us.
This reminds me of that quote by Anne Frank, "No one has ever become poor by giving."
That's a beautiful quote.
Yeah.
And it really perfectly encapsulates Hill's philosophy of giving. It's about recognizing the generosity. It enriches not only the lives of others, but our own lives as well.
It's about understanding that true success isn't measured by our possessions or our achievements, but by the positive impact that we make on the world.
Exactly.
So, wow, Think and Grow Rich. It really offers this timeless blueprint for achieving success, not just in terms of wealth, but in all areas of life.
It does.
It's about aligning our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions with a higher purpose, and recognizing that we have the power to create the reality that we desire.
It's been a real pleasure exploring these principles with you.
Likewise, I feel like I have a whole new perspective on what it means to think and grow rich.
And I hope our listeners feel that way too.
Yeah.
Hill's work is really a reminder that we all have that potential for greatness within us.
Uh-huh.
And it's up to each of us to tap into that potential and create a life that's not just successful, but also meaningful and fulfilling.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with this thought. What burning desire will you transform into reality? What dreams will you dare to pursue? What impact will you make on the world? Remember, the power lies within you. Embrace the principles that we've discussed. Take action. Never give up on your aspirations.
The world is waiting to witness the unfolding of your greatness.